Hey, so today we're going to talk about Rumis, or Blokus 3D, as the more recent printing is called. It's a pretty simple 3D puzzle activity for 2 to 4 players, and throughout the course of the game, we're going to be placing our little Tetris block style pieces into a shape, building a small structure with height restrictions based on the number of players. And then at the end of the game, we're going to look and see who has the most cubes that are visible. See, like this piece is made up of 4 cubes. And the player with the most visible will have the highest score, minus the number of cubes that they have left over from any that they weren't able to play during the game. And then we'll determine who the winner is, and that's the game. Setup for the game, each player is going to get a little tub of pieces, and this edition has these nice little tubs that just come right out of the box. And you will select one of the 4 layouts that you have to choose from. There's a pyramid, stairs, a wall, and the tower, which is the one we're going to use at our play today. At the start of the game, each player takes one piece and places it into this grid pattern that's laid out on each of these tiles in different shapes. Along one of the edges. And then each player needs to continue always playing their pieces touching another one of the pieces that they've played. So this would be a legal play because blue is still touching blue. But playing over here on this side wouldn't be legal because blue is only touching yellow. It doesn't touch blue anywhere. The game also comes with this little turntable so you can rotate it, which is a really nice way to be able to turn the game without having to get up and move around the table so you can see what's going on from different angles. Throughout the game, you're only able to place your pieces in such a way that you don't form any tunnels, that any spaces that are left should always be fillable from above. So you can drop a piece in right here and fill that space. You can't play this piece like this, because then you have this tunnel that forms, and you can't put pieces in from the top. That's basically the only rule on placement, that as long as you're touching your own color and you don't form tunnels, you're all set. The only other thing, like I mentioned earlier, is that there are height restrictions based on the number of players. In this, which I've got set up, it's a 2-player game. So the height restriction for this particular board is 4. So this would be a perfectly legal play, that yellow can reach that height cap at 4 spaces. But this goes above that cap, so it's not a legal play. Even though it's touching yellow and it doesn't leave any tunnels. Other than that, that's about it. So let's go to gameplay, and you can see how this game looks in action with 4 players. Oh, bold.
Was it?
I don't know.
I have no idea what I'm doing, so... I mean, I understand the rules of the game, but...
Yep. Oh, building up. How tall?
8.
Oh, okay. So now
You have to touch your own color.
all of your stuff has to touch your own color. Yeah.
Just a sec, so...
ultimately you want your piece to be showing from the top.
Okay.
So, like, I can't place this one here because I'd be blocking this spot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can place this one here, right?
Yeah.
So why can't you block?
You can't block any spot from being placed in from above.
Oh.
So you can't form tunnels.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I hate the fact that the red is like more coppery and not a primary red because all of those are more primary colors. Like the green is the primary blue. And...
I think if you got the
This
newer
is-
edition of the game, Blokus 3D, I think they're just like plastic primary colors. I think they're like more translucent, normal
I mean,
colors.
mine are pretty.
I like
It just
these
does.
colors
I think they
better,
were,
so.
yeah, I think they were going with like it looks like mystically ancient or whatever.
Oh,
but,
okay. There is metallic sheen. I just couldn't
Yeah.
see it.
Like his is like not like the typical primary green. It's kind of like a weird forest green, I
Yeah.
guess. So
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry. It's apparently a game about being mean to each other, though.
Well, it is.
it is. It is exactly that. Have you ever played Blokus? No. Okay. I believe Rob and I played one game of Blokus where like Rob's like, so the whole point of this is to
Go as fast as possible to cut the other person off. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And he's like, okay, this is stupid. It's like, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not gonna defend Blokus. Like, I don't care. I don't feel like I'm doing well. Put that guy in there.
There's a significant chance that you might be.
I don't know.
Do I want to do that?
Oh man, we do have one of these things. Oh.
Can I do that?
Well, just didn't
that's
keep
a legal move.
Okay.
As long as it's touching your color.
It is touching my color.
Yeah.
Come on, build that chalupa. Encroaching on my style.
We're only up to like 4.
Mm-hmm. You prevented me from doing something about him by putting a thing so I couldn't place a piece there.
Seems like a friendship destroyer.
Okay.
Does this turn?
Yeah, it's a turntable.
Yeah, it's a turntable.
Okay.
So you can rotate it.
Okay. That's useful.
Guess I'm gonna...
I really don't know what I'm doing, but whatever.
It's okay. None of us really know what we're doing.
You want to like cover up other people's pieces if you can.
Well, I think I stopped you a little bit from encroaching more on my coppery haven that I'm building.
And ultimately, you don't want to get stuck with your giant pieces because they'll cost you.
Oh,
points
yeah,
to
you're
use.
right.
You do things to make things worse. Okay.
I don't know if we're doing the Incas justice. It's pretty like uneven.
Oh, snap.
Oh man.
Oh. At least it'll be easy to score. We'll just look at what the camera can see above.
It'd be really funny if you had to do it like a blind draw for each piece. Just drew them.
How do you deal with this piece of crap? I don't know. I don't want to play anymore.
It's the advanced rules, Rob.
And not every game does advanced mean awful.
Beep.
Probably limited at this point.
It's a good play.
Yeah.
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. That piece, you can't put that piece there.
It's 8 max.
Is it 8?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 7.
No, that's why I haven't been
Okay.
playing the row.
Was
So that it didn't let other people be blocking it.
row. Let's see.
No. Hold on.
Ooh.
guess this is better for you over here.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, no, you're right. You can play that one still.
Ah,
Oh, destroy everything.
sorry. Sorry.
The only thing I can do. I guess I can do that. That's not better.
Cool. I can only play in one place.
Yep. Nope. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you had the other ones.
I wonder what you're gonna do on your turn with your piece.
Yep.
I physically cannot put my piece down.
Yep.
Bonnie
Yep.
also cannot put her piece down.
My score is -2.
-1.
8.
How are you counting it?
You're not
You
negative
only-
1. You've got 2 points.
So is it for how do you score?
It's count the visible squares on top.
And subtract the number of squares on this, right?
Oh, so it'd
So
be
you've got 6 showing, and 2 here. And 4 here, that is. So
Yeah.
2.
So 2.
oh, that's dumb.
Rumis!
I really like this game, but
I believe you are in the minority here.
I mean that's fine.
I would actually play it again. I just
It's the sort of spatial thing that I
Blokus 3D.
Rumis. Rumis?
I don't know how it's
Or
pronounced.
Rummies?
I just call it Blokus 3D.
I call it Rumis because I like to assume it's like a sitcom starring Tony Danza from the
Yeah,
70s.
yeah.
So. Rumis.
Roomies.
Rumis.
What do you think about this 3D puzzle action?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I would rather play this than Blokus. It's got a more tactile element to it.
I agree.
But essentially you're playing with Legos, and like, you know, I don't really feel like it's much of a game more than it is just kind of like a puzzle
It's just a
activity.
puzzle, yeah.
And I just would rather do other things than play this. I can definitively say I think it's garbage with 2.
Yeah, I thought it was really bad with 2 people also.
And I think it's probably better with 3, but like I don't have any data to support that because we didn't play it with 3. But with 4, it seemed like it was there were too many opportunities for other things to happen between your turns.
Yeah, I definitely felt like there was no point in me trying to plan what I was going to do because all I could really do was look at, oh, well, those are places I can put pieces right now, and these are the pieces that would fit there, and then just picking one of those options because by the time my turn came back around, there was very little chance that I would be able to have capitalized on whatever position I took in the last turn.
And every time my turn came around, you went just before me and put down a piece that prevented me from playing in more than one location.
Yeah.
Like every time, the entire game.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, the only place I can put a thing is right here. Now it's here. Now it's here. Now I can't even put this thing down.
Yeah.
I think this is probably fine for little kids. Like, the spatial element is probably best suited for that kind of demographic. It says grades 3+ on the box. I don't really know what else to say about it. Like, I think it barely qualifies as a game, and
I'd agree with you that it's really just a 3D puzzle activity for 2 to 4 people. I think that the different boards are kind of interesting, but the tower, which is the one that we did in our gameplay, I think is like the most boring of them, because it's just build basically like a cube in 3 dimensions, but with more players it ends up being a tower. I think in the 2-player version it is just build a cube with the 2 of you. I think that some of the other ones, like the pyramid, I think is the most interesting one, where you have that variation in what the heights are throughout the entire game.
because then you're dealing with leaving exposed blocks for the top scoring throughout the game, as opposed to just whatever happens to be left over at the very end.
Yeah, exactly. Because the tower is just such a limited structure in the game that when it was what we selected randomly for the playtest for this, I almost said, no, let's not do that, because that's not going to be a good choice. But I think that also illustrates well the reasons that I don't like the game. So I went ahead and stuck with that for our video so that people would see that in action rather than one of the more really exciting ones to me.
Thing that at least this edition of the game, I do not know about Blokus 3D, because I don't care enough to research it, but this edition comes with a turntable.
I think that's a really cool element to this.
To build onto. That's very good.
Yeah.
It's like sort of similar to like Via Paletti, the thing where like you have to get up and move around the table to figure out where you are going to best be able to pull out your piece. And that, I think, is an absolutely essential part of the nature of this game.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the designers took the time to consider that and put that in there. I don't like it. Must have shot up their production costs significantly. Like, the box is this size because of that turntable.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it would be a terrible game without it.
Yeah. So.
And
the blocks are really nice.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Otherwise, production quality, like the blocks, are really nice in this edition.
The mats for the different things aren't that, they're really thin and flimsy. Like, that's not really good.
But they don't need to be really impressive. I mean, it would be nice if they were heavier duty, but...
And this box is really flimsy and terrible.
Yeah. It's true. But those are things that I don't know how much of that applies to Blokus 3D at all. Anything else you can think of, production-wise or mechanics-wise?
Probably would be better if it had more layouts.
That's true.
It comes with 4.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, I don't know if they were with their Aztec or Incan, their Incan theme of like, what kinds of buildings can you replicate with blocks?
Yeah.
Tower, pyramid, stairs, or I can't even think what the 4th one is right now. So
yeah, I don't remember. Burial chamber?
The burial chamber was the tower.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember then.
Yeah. So like it really, like, I don't know how many different types of structures you could do.
Yeah.
But it does feel limited in that, like, you'll do those 4 and, like, probably at least one of them you'll be like, I don't ever want to use that one, so that puts you down to, like, 3 to choose from. You know?
Yeah, it'd be interesting if there were different layouts for this, and that's something that may exist if they're in, like, the fan community for this, that people have come up with rules for different layouts. But that replayability does seem like something that is missing from the base game, at least. Anything else, or do you want to go to rating action?
3.
3? Really? That low?
I don't think this is a game. I don't think it's something that is really worth my time at all.
That's fair. On the assumption that it's a game, I would call it like a 5. That I don't like it, but I would play it again if somebody wanted to play this.
Okay.
Blokus 3D.
Rumis?
You
You look it up?
No.
Okay.